Hello, everybody. How's it going today out there in the world? We got a little different lineup today. Big Mike is on his way home from Kentucky. He's having some problems, feeling some numbness in his body and different things, so he's heading to the emergency room. And as most of you know, as soon as we're done here, I'm doing the same thing. Got some kidney failure going on and some things like that. But graciously, Nick has jumped in to help carry the load for me today. He's always Johnny on the spot, ready to help anybody, and he's my brother, so I appreciate that. And we have the privilege of finally having Tristan here. It's crazy, Tristan, because the last time I canceled on you because I was sick. I don't think it has anything to do with you, though. All right.
No worries. No, yeah,
this is actually my second time talking with Tristan, and I was supposed to come on his show, and he had something going on, and I honestly I don't know, it slipped my mind, man, and I didn't, and then I was like, damn, I feel so bad, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's cool we get to talk again now here on this. It just all worked out. You know what I mean?
Let me put the comments up on stage there.
Definitely, man.
So we got RWO broadcast. Was that you or Ken?
You'll never know.
Reptiles out there as well as the wife. But how's everyone's Sunday going?
Chores.
Yeah, I've had some too.
Yeah, same. I've been messing with the Chinese soft shell enclosure.
Okay. Well, the wife just stopped by. She does Uber and Instacart and all that kind of stuff. She got a bachelor's degree in social work, but she's always been pretty worried about my health and is afraid to take a 9-to-5 type job because she wouldn't be able to get home to help me or whatever. And she was on a very big order a little earlier today. I'm talking about a couple of $100 worth of groceries, maybe 300. And right when she was pulling up to the house to deliver them, it canceled. So we inherited all of that groceries.
That's how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I need to go do that.
They can't take it back into the store and put it onto the shelf because it's, contaminated per se.
Damn, that's good.
It doesn't have, she said it was for a $400 order. It doesn't happen often. That's now, during the pandemic, it happened a lot more often. I don't care if it was alcohol, a TV, or what it was. During the pandemic, you didn't bring it back. So if it got canceled or whatever, it was just yours. But
pretty gnarly, dude.
So Tristan, we appreciate you being here, buddy. Why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us where people can find you, all that kind of thing, and we'll start out there. No, you reptile. We don't have to pay for that. So.
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
I said, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Then we'll get started there. Can you hear me, Tristan? I think
Tristan.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. You're coming in and out, but I think you said give myself an introduction, so I can do that.
Yeah. The glitch is real with this one.
Alrighty. Well, my name's Tristan. I'm one of the hosts of the Hobby Hanger. The Hobby Hanger podcast. The podcast god's not smiling on us today. Interview people on their hobbies, and we basically ask them how it's positively affected their lives and mental health, and a lot of different ways. We've talked to lots of reptile keepers. I've talked to a falconer, talked to cigar enthusiasts. I've talked to all kinds of cool people, and inside the reptile hobby and outside the reptile hobby, and it's been a wild journey. I even talked to a 9/11 survivor who keeps Asian water monitors, and
wow,
that's how she's dealt with the trauma, is working with those two lizards. So it's been a trip. It's been a trip for sure, and one of the reasons we decided to start the podcast, my co-host, is because he and I went through some stuff ourselves, and he and I have kind of both found, over the years, how our hobbies can kind kind of relieve some of the pain, and in some instances from trauma. It can help kind of just just make your life through just the repetition and meditation of something as simple as working with reptiles and cleaning out their enclosures, stuff like that. Like it can be a lifesaver. And interviewing the people we've interviewed on our show, it's kind of been a reoccurring theme. Hobbies are powerful. They can do a lot for you. I'm a prime example of that myself.
Definitely so, buddy. I mean, it's been a big part of my healing and things as far as the mental health and things go. And as you know, and as many of the guests that we've had on the show have also communicated. But tell us a little bit about some of the struggles that you've actually had to go through, Tristan. I know some of it's connected to the military, but just start wherever you feel like, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I guess, when I was a kid, I wanted to be maybe one of three things in life, like a monster truck driver. I was that kid that was running around in the backyard catching lizards and snakes and, playing soldier. Never ever found like a cool stick. That was my weapon. I was that kid, and as I grew up, it got closer and closer to the point. So I got to be a 11. I served with the 10th Mountain Division out of Fort Polk, Louisiana. Now, why you would put something that's called a mountain division down in the swamps of Louisiana, I don't know, but hey, that's where I
throw
was.
people off. It was to throw off the enemy. They would have never looked down south with a name like that.
I served 4.5 years and then ended up getting out of the military. And that's, that at the end of that, that's when things started to get real rough for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went through some rough patches during, one of the worst parts was, leaving behind my brothers, like the guys that I built a strong relationship with. Like those guys weren't just my coworkers. They weren't just like soldiers I served with. Like they were my family. Those were my brothers.
Yes, sir.
And leaving them behind, that was rough.
I can only imagine.
And then things kind of started to cascade from there. I was married at the time, not for very long. And, frankly, the only reason I got married back then was because I was lonely, which is not a reason anybody should get married. Just going to throw that out there. If you get married just because you're lonely, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But believe me, I know I tried, didn't work out. So yeah, started the process of getting divorced. That was messy. About 2 weeks after, my ex and I decided we were going to split up. I get a phone call from one of my best friends in the world. His name is Tristan Cooley. Yeah. Okay. Believe it or not, there was 3 Tristans. There was me. Everybody called me TF. Tristan Kovach, the guy who called me, and my buddy Tristan Cooley. Cooley, he was serving in the Army as well as a cavalry scout over in Texas. He ended up dying in a car accident.
Wow.
We found out, the next morning after it happened, and we were devastated. I mean, I was absolutely wrecked because we were the 3 Migos, the 3 Tristans, man. We were
and definitely
we were best buds growing up, man.
Yeah, and you formed a
losing him was.
I'm sure that was pretty devastating.
It was, yeah.
You built a pretty good relationship growing up there and things like that.
yeah, it blindsided us. And the next thing you know, he was Native American. He was Pima. He had some family that lived on the Pima reservation outside of Phoenix here. And then he was buried on the res. And the way they do things is a little bit different than, how we white people like to bury our dead. Sir. Usually you have the people who work at the cemetery dig the grave, and they'll put the dirt back up. That's not how they do it. We were out there, and when it was time to put, TC's casket in the grave, me and my friends did it. The guys that he grew up with, his family members, we did it. When it was time to put the dirt back on the casket, we did it. When it was time to nail that pine box shut, they handed me the hammer and they handed me the nails, and I did it.
I don't know if I could have done
Honestly,
that.
I wouldn't have had it any other way. Honestly, I didn't think I could have until I did it. Until his mom, my brother's mom, walked up to me and handed me the hammer and nails and said, "I need you to do this." Anybody else would have asked me to do that, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But his mom walked up to me, looked me in the eye, and said, "I need you to do this." I'm not going to tell her no.
There's no way you could, buddy. And I know it hurts, and I can feel it. And
I'm not going to tell that.
I think everyone out there can see it in your face and your emotions.
Yeah, I don't even like going. I don't even like going to funerals. I couldn't imagine doing that.
It's amazing how things like that affect us. In high school, there was excuse me. Go ahead. In high school, I had a friend of ours that he was a year ahead of us in high school.
Yeah,
there's a extreme lag. I think what we need to do is maybe take something and maybe have Tristan go out and send him the link to himself on a text from Instagram, or I wish I had Tristan's phone number. I would do it, but there's a tremendous lag on my end. Are y'all getting that? Is anyone getting that? I can only pick up every other word, to be honest with you.
Same here. Tristan, send me your phone number on Instagram, and I will text you the link.
Yeah, probably right.
He said no lag for us.
Gotta love him.
But then we got big lag. All right. I apologize. I didn't want to, throw a wrench in it. I just couldn't hear. I didn't really know if it was me or if it was.
No, you're good.
What was going on?
Let me stop this banner too. See if it's something on my end I can control or get to stop. I don't know that.
I'm pretty sure it's what I was talking about, where you have to send it to yourself, through email. You copy and paste the link, StreamYard link, and then email it to yourself.
It's lag. They're even saying it in the comments.
Yeah, and then send it to yourself through that way, and not use the Instagram server. If that makes sense.
Did you get that, Tristan? Tristan, I'm sending you a message on Instagram. Okay, go ahead and do that.
Like I said, I don't know if you got a commercial you can run or what.
Yeah, I'll do some commercials while I'm doing that, Tristan. It'll take I can run 2 minutes commercials, and you do that and come back in, okay?
Operation Deeds, Not Words 2 is dedicated to empowering and uplifting disabled veterans and first responders through unwavering support, meaningful resources, and real opportunities that honor their service and sacrifice. Our mission is to build a thriving, impactful organization driven by the shared vision, commitment, and accountability of our team, because when we work together, there is no ceiling on what we can accomplish.
We are equally committed to the growth of our team members, actively encouraging them to expand their voices, followings, and businesses as essential pillars of our mission. Being part of Operation Deeds, Not Words reflects great credit upon our members, uniting communities in the Fat Man Nation. Green Line morphs under a shared purpose rooted in service, resilience, and action-driven impact. Deeds, Not Words.
ReptileAds.com is the modern marketplace for buying and selling reptiles, amphibians, and exotic pets. Built by Purple Turtle Technologies, we're creating the most trusted platform in the industry. Join thousands of breeders and collectors on the most trusted reptile marketplace. List your animals, connect with buyers, and grow your business with Reptile Ads. Enjoy our easy access to stores as well as a genetic calculator for your convenience. Stop by and check us out today.
Tristan's in the process of trying to get back into the show, so we'll give him a few seconds here to do that.
That's fine. Like I said, I wasn't trying to cut nobody off. It was just really hard to hear, and I was just trying to make sure if it was correct. Me, or what the heck was going on. But
no, it was happening, and I was trying to figure out what we should do. But I'm glad you stepped in there because my mind's not
sharp. A lot of it really is if you ever do a StreamYard link, anybody out there, and you click on it straight from Instagram, just don't even do it. Just go ahead and copy it and text it to yourself or email it to yourself and click it that way. Because I'm telling, if you go through the Instagram server, it's just like it's almost like it's fighting itself. You know what I mean? Like it's fighting against itself while you're using it, and it makes you lag, and it'll make it to where. Because literally all I was hearing, I made out what he was saying the whole time because, I'm not an idiot and I can pick up on stuff. But like, it was like every other word type thing. And I was like, well, I don't know if the audience can hear or understand what he's saying. So
that's why I changed the background things. I didn't know if that was taking resources and causing a problem or.
No, I ain't never used such an intense background like that. That is pretty animated. I mean, that might have something to do with it. I don't know.
I don't think it was affecting you or I, so I'm not,
No, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I just know that the only thing that I've had run-ins with is that Instagram thing. It's like a meta server or something.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it works, but.
Well, while we're waiting on him, I got a couple of things I would like the people to, if you're, I don't know what everyone's religious or those kind of things are, and I'm not discussing that, but I have a lot of things going on in my family, Nick. It's getting to me.
It'll do it.
My sister and I don't have the greatest relationship, but my wife passed from cancer back in 2004, and she was there as much as she could to help me. And right now, her husband is terminal with cancer and passing, and they're struggling finances and different things with insurance. They went to pick up his pain medicine yesterday, and the insurance company denied that. And then I have a nephew that has two daughters that are pretty much terminal. One of them has to wear like a vest to help her. She'll get choked on just about anything, and she wears this vest that kind of like pulsates and things to keep congestion broke up in her and things like that.
What?
And then he's got another little girl right now. She's been out to St. Jude's. They're on their way to Cincinnati Children's Hospital now for a trial. She has a type of growth on her brain stem. It's called DIPG. I don't know the words. You can look it up. And she's about 12 years old, maybe 10 years old. And she's probably only got 6 to 8 months to go.
Yeah, that's terrible. Cancer sucks, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it because I know what kind of show this is, but F cancer. You know, like for real, like that is the worst thing ever. And there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, a lot of it, I mean, if you're that young and it just is what it is because you didn't do anything, you're not smoking cigarettes for 50 years, or you're not eating terrible food poisons, you know, like to make you have it. So it's really crappy, man. You know, I've had people with cancer, you know, in my life, obviously. I mean, the times we live in, cancer is pretty prevalent throughout society, and it definitely doesn't get any easier, especially if it's an innocent kid. You know what I mean? Like that didn't smoke them cigarettes and didn't do anything to really cause that.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. And you know, I think cancer is so much more prevalent today because we know what it is. One reason, I guess, than they did in the days past. But I think environmental impact has a lot to do with it because I grew up in a steel mill town, you know, in the area.
With the smokestacks.
Yeah, and you know they had coke plants. They had all kinds of different plants to support
Coca-Cola.
Not Coca-Cola plants. It's a type of process with the steel.
I'm just messing. We have, you know, Birmingham is the steel mill capital or whatever,
right?
Iron City,
yeah,
or whatever. So yeah, I've definitely seen those towns where it's nothing but steel mills and different industry. It's an industry. What do you call it? Industrialized city.
Yeah.
And there's smokestacks everywhere, and you just see all that stuff going up in the air constantly, right? Like black clouds, gray clouds. And people don't think about it, but whatever's going up is going to come down eventually. You know, it does. It's 100. It's gravity. You know, it's 100% accurate. If there's any solid carbon or anything, it will come back down.
Yeah.
So you know.
It may take it getting damp in the atmosphere or whatever, but it will return.
Oh, for sure.
But you know, it seems like the biggest majority of the people I went to school with have some kind of bad effects, and it only makes sense that it's because of all of that kind of thing going on. Because that's, you know, we also lived where Ashland Oil started from. You know, Valvoline, the company. And we got Dow Chemical and all those kind of places right there on the river and different things. And I really believe it's a part of it, of the cause.
I think they've proven that certain cancers are linked to different industrialized things, you know, like, especially like you said, on a river. I mean, come on, you know, like any idiot knows that whatever, especially if you're by a river, all that stuff is seeping. You know, anything when it rains, there's a cotton mill here, or a paper mill and a cotton mill and all that stuff. But the paper mill is real bad because the paper mill has all those chemicals and all that different stuff. And they have a big thing that's out in front whenever you drive out of it to like go home if you work there. And because of the stack and everything, right?
Right. And it rinses your car off.
Everything, it rinses the car off before it can come back into society. You know what I mean? So obviously it can't be good.
They actually have one of those here in Pensacola. We have a Champion paper mill here in Pensacola, about 8 miles north of me. But we also, our power facility here has one of those car washes leading it as well. It used to be coal-based power, you know, with Gulf Power, but they shut all that down and turned it all into propane and got rid of most of the employees. So now we got a power plant there running on propane gas with minimal employees, that if something happens, it's monitored through detectors of sort inside the gas lines. So if a sound changes or pressure changes or whatever, they dispatch people from like South Florida to come fix this shit.
That's wild.
Tristan he's changing computers, so he's gonna try to jump
them paper mills stink, don't they?
Man, they do.
I'm so ready to get away from this town. The paper mill where I live is literally, if on the hill I live on at the right time of day, if it's not, you know, a really good clear day, you can see the smoke going up from it. It's right down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it freaking every morning when I take my daughter to school every morning, you know, we go out there and it's muggy and it smells like poo, dude. Like the nastiest stink. Like it's just nasty, dude. And everything smells like it. But all these people around here are just so used to it. And I'm like, when I go to Georgia to visit and I'm outside hanging out, you can smell the difference because there's not a paper mill nowhere, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so ready to move back to Georgia because.
How are you in that process?
Slow. I was going to go this weekend, but it was raining and I'm not driving all the way there in my truck if I can't load it down.
Yeah.
To me, and I spoke with her, it kind of seems like a waste of it. Yeah, it's $100 a trip to go there and back every single time in fuel. Yeah. So I'm like, there's no way that it makes sense.
Would it be cheaper for you to rent a U-Haul and pull your truck?
I'm not doing that.
I got you.
I don't want to pull my truck like that.
I understand. I mean,
because if anything happens, man, I would lose my mind. That's a brand new truck. Right. I would freak out, dude. Like, it's the nicest thing I've ever had that I have.
Well, I've got some pretty exciting news, though. I can't announce who or anything right now because they're just not ready for that. But one of our mutual friends is been looking at relocating from California, and they were originally going to go to Texas. And we developed a relationship much like you and I have, kind of thing. And the wife being in the geckos, and they do geckos as well, and they're helping her out tremendously with breeding stock and things like that. And they've decided they're going to relocate here to Pensacola, and we're going to combine our rodentries together and have one big rodentry here in my garage, and just a immense amount of knowledge for me right here every day will be so much, beneficial too. So I'm excited about that.
Someone from California. Hell, I don't know who it could be, to be honest.
Oh, you know them. It's just, they want to make sure all their ducks in a row before they.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
You got a lot of different species and things like that to bring with them. And I think he's got 300 or 400 ball pythons. And then he's got, the geckos and carpets and sand boa and all kinds of stuff, so trying to
I'm definitely dreading moving all the animals. Like I'm documenting all of it. I'm vlogging the whole thing because people need to know if you're moving state to state, it is hard, dude. Like it's a lot. It's not hard. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but it's not hard. It's just a lot to do. Like this room alone is going to take me 2 days. But the thing is that you got the racks and you got the animals in them, right? So you have to take the animals out, put them in bags, put them in the front seat of your car, in the back or wherever, where the sun ain't going to blare on them. And then, because it's climate controlled, right?
Right.
And then you got to take that, put that in the truck. Then when you have to get to where you're going, you can't even relax. You got to take that out of the truck, put that together, like put it back together, run it, get the temperature on it, put the snakes back in. It's a lot, man. Like, and people don't understand that. I mean, because a lot of people, they'd be like, well, I can just leave them in there and strap it down and put it in the back of a U-Haul where it's 200 degrees.
There you go. Can you hear us, Tristan, well?
Yeah, I think I can hear.
Oh, shoot. It was much better, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great for that 3 seconds.
It was great, dude.
Come back in again, buddy. But, yeah, it's a lot of work. And, not only that, but once you get there and you're putting it together, you got to test everything to make sure nothing,
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Nothing chuck loose or anything can't connections and all that kind of things. And
you got to get it ready. You got to make sure the temperature is right for the room that you're moving it to. Then you got to put the substrate in it, waters, everything. Then you got to, it's, man, That's why a husbandry probe comes in handy.
Yeah.
Everything's labeled, you know.
I think we got him back now.
It's fifth time the charm.
You look great now, bro. You are fluent, homie.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
sweet.
working real good. I guess start back about the time, right? I guess where you were nailing the coffin shut. I guess if that's not too emotional.
Oh, I mean, it's good to get it out. To be honest, it's good to get it out. But yeah, basically, it was the hardest thing I ever did. No, period. Like up until that point in my life, hardest thing I ever did. But I wasn't gonna tell his mom no. You know,
Right.
I wasn't gonna say no. I can't do that. You know, I did it. I didn't do it by myself either. My buddy Carrot, you know, the co-host to the Hobby Hanger, he was there with me. He helped me. You know, I got about halfway through, and then you know I handed the nails and the hammer to him. I was like, dude, you gotta help me finish, because I'll be honest, I couldn't finish.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool that your podcast host or whatever has you and them have that relationship like that.
100%.
You know, like y'all are actually like real close. You know.
Yep. Yeah, Carrot and I have been through some shit. That's for sure. Carrot and I have been together as buddies for a long time, man.
I know in the military, some people don't like to talk about it, but were there any? I don't know how to put it how to word it, but any circumstances that were really all shit that you would like to share or how it affected you there?
No,
go ahead.
100%. Yeah, basically, the worst stuff happened right here at home. You know, for me, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, the worst things happened right here at home. We were doing a training event at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. Man, yeah, this one's rough because like this guy was one of my best friends in the Army. Like he was one of the guys that like took me under his wing as a brand new private, and he was a senior specialist. So he kind of took me under his wing and showed me the ropes. Basically, long story short, he got ran over by an up-armored Humvee. Like the ones with the real thick, heavy doors, thick, heavy glass, crushed the entire left side of his body, gave him a brain bleed. He lived. And you know, thank God he lived, just barely. I mean, and he's not the same anymore. He's not the same. You know, when you take brain trauma like that, you're not going to be the same.
No, there's no way.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way.
He survived, but it was real touch and go for him for a long time. Well, the kid that did it, he was part of the Louisiana National Guard. The only reason we were there is because we were going to help train them up for their upcoming deployment. We were basically at Camp Shelby playing the bad guys so that these guys could get some training before they deployed.
Right.
We're active duty. You know, this is what we do all the time. These are National Guard guys. You know, no disrespect to the National Guard. We need them. They perform a function. But there's some things that are asked of the National Guard that I think are a little bit outside their purview, in my opinion, at least.
I think they probably should have more training before they get to the point where you guys were at.
I agree. And I think if that was the case, I think my friend never would have got hurt the way he did. But you know, long story short, the kid who did it, the kid who was driving that Humvee, is just a private first class, young kid, couldn't have been older than 18, 19, like real young kid. I mean, I was barely older than him at the time.
Right.
And all he got was a company grade Article 15. That's basically a slap on the wrist as far as, you know, as far as the military is concerned. That's a slap on the wrist. Worst case scenario, you're doing some extra duty. And it sucks because you're working from like sun up to sundown all day long, and it sucks. And you might get, you know, half pay for 15 or so days. And that sucks, but you know, it's
You get over it and you move on. That's what he got. And then the truck commander, the guy that was sitting in the passenger seat, he was an NCO. He also got a slap on the wrist. You know. And my friend almost dies, right? His brain is altered for the rest of his life. And the punishment that those men received was a slap on the wrist, basically.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when it hit me. You know.
I think he probably got more punishment than that. Can you imagine?
Seems like they would drop him down a rank.
You'd think so.
Or something. Because I mean, there's a lot of different things. I've never been in the military, but I've worked on a base a lot of my adult life. I've worked on an adult base more than I think I've been, not in school. And so a lot of times, if you do something like, let's say anything, I mean, you have anything happen, you get in a little tussle out there, a fight or something with your neighbor, they'll drop your shirt. I guess that's what they call it. Is that what they call it? Drop you down a shirt or whatever it's called? I don't know. That's Air Force.
Rank. Yeah, drop you a rank, drop you a grade. It depends on what.
And then it drops your pay. It drops everything,
Oh yeah.
And I agree. They probably should have got a harsher punishment for that. But I imagine, at least if it would have been me in that kid's shoes that was driving the thing, my mind would be screwed up knowing that I did that.
Well, I imagine it was an accident. I'm sure it was ignorance more than anything, and you can't blame the person. You can only blame whoever taught the person what they know, right?
Right.
To an extent.
Did we just lose your camera, Tristan, or did we lose you altogether?
He's out.
Yeah. I guess we may just have to reschedule him and try again another day. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it was pretty good on my when we had him on, but I mean it did have its moments, but I think we actually had to do that last time when I talked to him on our show, that it was kind of spotty.
Yeah.
But a lot of it has to do if you're hardwired in or not. A lot, there's a lot of varied things that can happen. I mean, if you're using internet on your phone or a tablet, then it could be cloudy outside. I mean, who knows?
Oh, 100%. There's so many things that can happen with going through the internet and different servers, sending it from here to there kind of things. It's a lot involved. But
Definitely.
it seems like StreamYard itself has issues a lot of times as well. I've noticed on every podcast that we are part of or watch or anything else, there's always someone in a box that can't hear, freezes, or something like that going on.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of that is, honestly, I've really attributed it to the dang server. I feel like it's hard to have it mess up if you have a good internet connection and you didn't go through a social media website to click the link to use that as a server. I don't know though, because I'm hardwired in. I mean, even me being hardwired in, sometimes I'll notice when I watch it back, it'll be kind of, it'll have its moments. But I don't know. We could put a man on Mars. We can put robots on Mars that take pictures for us and stuff, but we can't get the internet right on Earth. Isn't that crazy?
Well, 100%. So, I'm not saying this is the way it works because I haven't seen their setup, but normally this should work something like playing online games with Nintendo or Xbox, where it goes through a server at Xbox or Nintendo. This should be going through a server at StreamYard and being, redistributed back out.
Well, have you ever used if you use your phone, if you look at the top, if you click it straight from Instagram, instead of it saying Google or whatever.
I just can't hear you guys again. Jeez.
You can't hear us?
This is rough. I'm sorry. Mostly my fault, I'm sure.
No.
Your video looks good.
Yeah, the video's good and we can hear you fine.
That sucks that he can't hear us.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys at all. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure what to do here.
There's nothing you can do, buddy.
I'm
It's
probably
He
just
can't
making it
hear us.
worse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We love you, Tristan. We love you. You're so sexy. Look at you.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Oh, it's all good, and I'll message Tristan. We'll just maybe it just wasn't meant to be today. I'm struggling anyway, as I said earlier, and things. So I want to thank everyone in the comments and chat for coming out and stepping up for us today. And Nick, I appreciate you as always, buddy. But I think we're just going to go ahead and cut it short, and I'm going to get myself to the emergency room anyway. And
yeah, you got to take care of numero uno, G-Paws.
Well, I canceled on Tristan once before, and I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you got kidney failure, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is,
Well, it's not exactly failure. I mean,
well, you scared me when you said kidney failure. I'm over here like, damn, is this motherfucker?
I mean, it is. I have lost my left kidney already. My right one my right one works at about 24% capacity. So it's right above the limit before I would have to go on dialysis. So we've worked really hard to keep it there. I've been through like 60 different surgeries and several different major university hospitals, Shands, Tulane, USA, University of Alabama, Birmingham, all these different places, trying to make sure it keeps working. And it's just, it's inevitable at some point it's going to happen, but I'm still going to fight to keep it and stay off of dialysis, because that's not a fun life either.
Yeah, dialysis sucks, man. That's what my grandma had to do. She had kidney stuff wrong with her kidneys for years. She never did. She was hard-headed, buddy. She's one of them old Southern women. She ain't about that life, She ain't going to no damn doctor. So she didn't do it for years. She was supposed to be on dialysis for years, and she didn't do it. And she ate. My grandma, you go to my grandma's house, we eating, I mean, we're doing everything that she ain't supposed to be doing. She's smoking cigarettes, doing everything. She's old. She didn't care. And then she moved in with my dad, and then it just was like, boom, dialysis. And then they had to start that and do it. Like she didn't have a choice. So she did it. And if you don't do stuff like that or listen to the doctor, I feel like, it's inevitable that something bad will happen. You know what I mean? Because if she would have went to dialysis like she was supposed to, like, she should be alive right now. I mean, she was old, but she wasn't but like 70-something years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not the healthiest person in the world either, but,
Well, we all are battling something. That's for 100% sure. Talking about being a stubborn Southern lady, I guess that's ingrained in all of us growing up in the country and things like that.
You don't trust doctors.
We didn't go to the doctor.
You die at the doctor. You know what I mean? That's where you die.
I can, thinking about the kidney issues I have now and things, I've had it my entire life and didn't know what was going on. I'd get a pain in my kidney area, and I would think it was, I didn't know what it was. I just thought I need to get moving and do something. So I would go take a hike through the woods, go exploring caves, doing things like that. And it seemed like the motion and things, I guess at that point it was a stone or something, would help that pass on through. And it was until I was probably 35 years old before I ever saw a doctor about it, and found out accidentally then. I was in bed one night and was having pains horrible. I couldn't turn and get any kind of relief no matter how I moved. I was pacing around the house kind of thing. I told the wife, I said, I got to go. I said, but I'm embarrassed. I think I've got gas and it's just so bad. I can't do nothing about it. And we got to the hospital, and the nurse immediately knew what was happening. And she, communicated all that to the doctor, and she told me, she said, look, I've had both, and what you're going through is worse than having a baby. And, I don't know what it feels like to have a baby, but this sucks. you know.
I've had a couple little babies before.
And but it started the process there, knowing what was going on, and it's been a fight ever since, you know.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I talk about this with a lot of people, and you go to the doctor, but the doctor is pretty much, I don't want to say they're guessing, but I will say that I feel like, and this is when me personally, you know, I had a hernia, right?
Yes.
And I had to get hernia surgery. Like, they had to cut me open. It wasn't no micro where you got little holes. It was I look like I got a C-section, dog, you know? So they split me open. And the thing is that I kept going to the doctor over and over and over, trying to figure out why I was hurting. And it's obviously a lump right there. So there was a lump there, and they sent me to get a, what's that thing where they put that fluid in you? It makes you feel like you're burning hot, and like, is it MRI?
Yeah, MRI or CT, either one. It's a type of dye kind of thing.
Yeah, the dye stuff. Yeah, I didn't like that stuff. But then they put something else in you. But they did that, and then they did the X-ray or whatever you call it in that tube. And then they come back and said it wasn't no hernia. I said, okay, because I was laying down, and your hernia sits
back again. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that makes sense. So yeah, with contrast, that's what it is.
Contrast.
So I had to go back for another thing, and it kept just charging me every time. I got insurance, but you know, insurance is only as good as it is. It's like the mob. They're going to get their money, but when you're sick, you have to beg for it. So I was paying all this money, and then finally they found out what it was. But every other time I went to the doctor, they would say it was something. But they always, if you notice, doctors and stuff always say if it continues, they'll say something and be like, we're going to prescribe these antibiotics or whatever. And then right before you leave and they finish their sentence, they say, but come back if it doesn't get better.
Right.
Or they'll schedule you another appointment in 2 weeks or something. You know what I'm saying? After your antibiotics worn out, to see if it worked, to see if that's all it is. Because when I had when I had that scan, they put the dye in you, I'm worried about cancer, to be honest. Cancer scares the shit out of me. Not to be vulgar, but it scares the crap out of me. And I don't like that. So I want to know if I got cancer immediately. I'm not one of these people that's like, I don't want to know. Hell no, I want to know, because you can fight cancer. A lot of people are survivors of cancer, depending on the cancer and when you find it. You know, so if you just get cancer, you might not know it for 20, 30 years. And then by the time you find out, you're already stage 4, you're about to die. But if you find it, so I asked them, I was like, you know, I'm curious. Whenever you give these people these things and these doctors are looking at that scan, because it lights up all your veins. And if you have a tumor, it will show it, right?
Yeah,
metaphorically.
Blood flow, everything. Yeah.
It should. Yeah. So they're like, they only look at the area specific to what they're looking for. And I said, well, can I get those copies? They're like, no. You'd have to go back in and get the thing done again and pay the money again, right? And then they'll do a cancer screening. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, dude. But it's crazy. The doctor thing, man, is a joke, man.
Well, a lot of the times when I'm in the ER or in the hospital, either one, we have what we call traveling doctors. They go on a circuit from, like, say, South Florida to Atlanta to.
That's what my surgeon does.
Or over here kind of thing. And one of them that I had to interact with done a really good job. He told me, he said, look, he said, it's like this. I'm tired. He said, we come in and get all the information we can, get all the information we can from tests. And regardless how we feel or what we should do, it's all up to a computer. You know, they have to put all this stuff in there.
Oh, I've seen them, yeah.
And to a big point, the insurance companies decide what they can and cannot do.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I believe, I guess I am a conspiracy theorist, but I think there's a cure for cancer.
Oh, well, that's not a conspiracy. That's 100% fact. You think that of all the scientific discoveries that we've had in the past, just say 20 years. Okay, think about this. They can't cure cancer, but they found a cure for COVID.
Right.
And that fast, like there's no way. You know how long it takes to find cures to vaccines, right? But they can do it. They can cure back like illnesses and diseases and stuff. So there's no way that there's not a way to do that. They know, in my opinion, but why would they do that? Because even if they charged $1 million for that pill or whatever the magic potion is to cure cancer, then they lose out on billions of dollars anyway. Even if they did $1 million a pill, they're still going to lose out billions of dollars. And the people that are the pharmaceuticals for cancer stuff, like you get prescribed certain medication if you have cancer, and it's really expensive, right? And the reason it's that expensive is because those people, those big, everybody knows the names of the people I'm talking about, the medicine pioneers, they control how much it is. If they say that pill is this much, what are you going to do? You're going to take it or you're going to die.
Well, I'm going to jump down this rabbit hole. And you and I both know this, but if there's younger people out there, they don't always understand things. If you look at our Congress and our House of Representatives, most of those people go there. We'll just make an example. Say if Nick gets elected to Congress and he's worth $500,000 right now.
Oh, I like that.
He gets paid $250,000 a year for 10 years. So after 10 years, he's made $2.5 million, and he had $500,000 to start with. So he should be worth $3 to $4 million, right?
Yeah, for doing nothing.
But if you look at Congress, people who've been there at 10 years who was worth $500,000 are now worth $40-50 million. Okay, that didn't happen by happen chance. It's because I'm fired up, Nick. It's because big pharma out there controls so many things. And if they don't vote the way big pharma wants, big pharma pulls that money away.
Oh yeah,
and
it's all about money.
They don't have that, so it's a 100% type of money situation. I love my country, and I would go to Iran today to help fight. So don't get me mixed up here. But our government process is broken.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been broken for decades.
And it won't get fixed because we are weak as humans. Everyone will sit around and talk about it, and this is what we need to do and need to do that, and we're not going to.
Well, a lot of it is fear-based.
But when it comes time to vote or do anything like that, they go back to the same old thing. Well, he's a Republican. I ain't voting for him. He's a Democrat. I ain't voting for him. I don't care who the hell or what you are. If you're the one for the job that I think will do the best job, I'm going to vote for you.
But you can't even trust any of those people, though. At the end of the day, even if my thing is the reason I do not vote is because if I can't agree with every single thing that you say, then I can't vote for you. But if I can agree with every single thing that you say, then sure, I'll vote. But I ain't never found one now that I agree with literally every single thing that they do and say. So, politics is a whole nother situation. But I'll say about the medicine crap, it's all about money. It's all about control and power, because without medicine, you die. And without, I'm not religious, but I mean, I've sifted through the Bible a lot, and I do know that lust for money is the root of all evil. 100%. Money is not the root of all evil.
You're correct.
The lust for it is the root of all evil. And if you have big corporations that you can obviously see that are charging $100, $200, $300, $400, sometimes $500, $600, $700, $800,000 a pill for one pill, dude.
And that might be an aspirin or a Tylenol.
Yeah, and this is something that you have to have according to that doctor, because I mean, in reality, it would only make sense that a doctor gets a cutback for pushing certain things. When those people come to doctor's offices and like my mom worked in a doctor's office my whole life pretty much as a nurse, and she would bring home all kind of stuff, bags of Zyrtec. When Zyrtec was coming big, in like the mid 90s or early 90s. I had a bad allergy problem, and she'd bring home bags of that stuff, bro, and like pins and hats and shirts. And that's what they do. Those medicine companies will come to them doctors' offices, give them all kind of cool little toys and talk to them about it. And then basically the more Zyrtec or whatever, the medicine, Tylenol, whatever it is that they give out or sell or, you know, recommend for them people, they're getting a cutback from it.
Right.
Oh, that has to be the truth. And if you ask them, a doctor, they'll say no.
Well,
but you go to certain doctors and they prescribe certain things. And if it wasn't the case that is the case, then they would all be one medicine. It would all be the same name, and it would all be from one company.
Yeah.
Why are there two different companies, 400 or 500 different companies that make ibuprofen?
Right.
What the hell is it?
And if you've been to the doctor, you probably almost every time, if you're around lunchtime or something like that, you'll see these representatives come in and bring ungodly amounts of food to these doctors and nurses and things to keep them happy.
Well, they all do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah. The plumbing supply house does that at my job. They'll come with a big thing of barbecue and everything. And it's all about, you know, greasing the wheels, baby.
Right. Keep everybody happy. But,
happy and fat.
Well, Nick, buddy, I appreciate you jumping on to help us out today. And I've talked to Tristan on. We'll reschedule Tristan another time and get that going. But one more thing I want to touch on. A couple of weeks back, I had Gigi Bannister, the wife of Reggie Bannister, the movie star on Phantasm, that's terminal and going through cancer. Of course, Reggie and her both are veterans. And we just got information this week from her that, you know, they had just got everything situated where they could have Reggie at home on hospice care, and, you know, the VA was taking care of everything. And then all of a sudden, now the VA has stopped that program where they won't take care of him at home anymore. And they're stuck now because there's no, where they live, there's no facilities that will take him or anything else. So they're kind of just left out to dry. So, you know, our veterans and has it, I think, probably worse than the rest of us do. They should have the best medical care, but it's not working out that way.
Wild how that works, ain't it?
You know, you'd think of someone who went to war and sacrificed their lives and things like that as someone that we should prioritize and take care of instead of worrying about, you know, what other countries are doing and things like that. But anyway, I'm just blabbering now, I guess. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Nick, I'll be in touch with you, and thank you so much for jumping on with me today.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I'm glad you I was like, well, if no one's going to jump on, I got him. You know what I mean? And I hope that you go to the doctor and you feel better soon, man.
Yeah, the wife went to pick up some gecko enclosures and heading back here. Then we're going to go back, see what we can get taken care of.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate you all. Thank you.